What really bothers me, and I think about it a lot, is that there are so many of their own people down south who are hungry and without homes. I often think they should be more concerned about taking care of their own people. It is always so appreciated when hunters bring meat to elders. These are people who cannot provide for themselves. The elders are so grateful.
Using the whole seal, sharing our hunt, continuing with our traditional ways is not only part of ensuring our culture is preserved, we also see the success of industries that use the byproducts of the seal hunt.
We are recognized for our unique sewing and design skills. People will always need warm clothes for colder climates, and the fashions we produce are unique in the cultures of the world.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure this evening to welcome our visiting delegates and other guests this evening.
Sealskin clothing has always been important for warmth, but it has also provided access to a potentially lucrative market in high fashion. And now, Inuit designers are venturing into the world of international high fashion, with the support of renowned designers such as Irma Paitler of Montreal.
They've managed to work together and produce some garments that are really stunning. I was sitting watching them earlier, watching the faces of international buyers, and they were pretty enthusiastic.
And I think that, judging by what we've seen here tonight and what's happening in the mainstream, like in fashion, I think that fur definitely has a place.
Over 85% of the exports of Montreal fur manufacturing, the Montreal fur designers and manufacturers, over 85% goes to the United States. That's by far the major Canadian market. And as long as the United States is maintaining this arbitrary ban on all seal products, it makes it very difficult to develop the product, more quickly.
Politics aside, it has always been the incredible beauty and the functionality of the fur that has caught the attention of international high fashion designers and manufacturers. And it is this market that will make a tremendous difference to Inuit by using the byproducts of our traditional hunt. The Nunavut Sealing Committee, a coalition of Inuit organizations, private sector and government agencies, is working to revitalize the sealing economy by educating the public, the government, studying the markets, and developing new products and markets for export around the world. Our communities not only depend on our continued traditional hunt, they need the economic development that will come with access to the global market for seal.
Even say the Canadian North.
Well, the people up north, the Indians. You mean the Indians? Well, we are not opposing the Indians.
I see.
The notion that Inuit should not be allowed to participate in the global market through sustainable harvesting is just the latest form of colonialism. Why should one culture be allowed to use, export, and make a living from their natural resources, while that same group dictates that other cultures may not use theirs? The message that Inuit have heard from the anti-sealing campaigners is that you may harvest wildlife on a sustainable basis for subsistence purposes only, not for commercial trade. Stay away from the modern technology. Stay small and primitive, and stay within your own borders.
I think we have to extend a sense of fairness and human decency to people as well as animals. And I think the use of wildlife in the Arctic is largely misunderstood by Southern conservationists and many other conservation organizations in the world.
Seals are not endangered. The populations are abundant. The whole animal is being used. It's helping to support local populations in a remote area where there's very little other employment opportunity. It's part of modern conservation theory. We're making use of part of the surplus that nature provides. What on earth could possibly be wrong? This is one of the most successful models of sound ecological use. There's never been any evidence or suggestion that they're endangered whatsoever. So a policy that's totally out of sync with U.S. trade policy, with U.S. conservation policy, and that ban has remained in place.
I will never stop hunting, that's for sure. It's the only way to survive. If I try living on Kadlinak's food, I would never be satisfied.
It's a time for people on the land to speak out, because I think the public is interested in hearing the other side of the story today.
Limiting what one culture may do by imposing other cultural opinions and views attempts to make the world over into one image, denying the right of others to participate or even live in the global village.
There's a lot of people that think it's wrong to kill any animals, and I'm sure they have their points and their feelings, but they also have to respect that there are other people and other cultures and other lifestyles in the world. From what I know, Inuit and Northerners are certainly not abusing the environment. They know that it's providing life and they're going to look after it as best they can.
In spite of political and social agendas from the South, Inuit will work patiently, as we have learned, to educate the public, governments, and policymakers on the sustainable use of wildlife. Knowledge that we have always had. Knowledge that provides opportunities to share the benefits of seal to the world, and in turn allow Inuit to continue to sustain our families and preserve our culture.